Hello, my name is Missing Utah. Welcome to another episode of Dragon Ball Z Devolution. So, story mode should be finished soon. By the way, the story mode was recorded like a really long time ago. I know a lot more about Dragon Ball now. I'm going to be a lot less of a jerk to the fans. Because to be honest, I kind of was a bit. So, it's going to be a tournament created using the site pull it up. The site, challenge.com. So, it's a really cool site. What you can do is you just put a bunch of people in brackets and it'll do the tournament. You can do like double elimination like this one. You can do single, round robin, or something called Swiss. I don't know what that is. So, yeah, what the site does. So, you put people into brackets, and the good thing is it uses buys so that higher ranking people will automatically advance to the next round. I'm doing that just so, like, Gogeta or Boo or something won't get knocked out on the first round. So these are going to be some of the weaker characters on the first round of the tournament. And there are a lot of characters in this game. So these are each going to be 90-second rounds, as you can see. And they have 500 health, but most of these matches will be decided by time. And so over here, there is going to be... Sorry, just a second. Okay, I got rid of that. No, that's not what I want. So, over here, as you can see, there's also going to be a loser's bracket, and that's kind of good because, yeah, you'll see why, but there's going to be some of the weaker characters, I said. So, you actually can have score for these. For some reason, it's not letting me do that. So, I think I know what's the problem. I'll find it out soon. So, I'll score them out of 50 based on how much health they have. Like, a tenth of their health, as far as I can determine, is 1 point. So tell me if you think I got the scores a bit wrong. So, whoever has the... And so, you get an extra 10 points if you actually defeat your opponent. So this is going to be 2B versus Dies. Not the highest profile characters in this game. So they're both going to be computer characters, by the way. I feel like if I played, it would be a little unfair because, you know, humans are better than CPUs at this stuff. The one problem is that CPUs do not use abilities like the Destructo Disc, so certain characters will not be fighting at full strength. But I think that that's going to be pretty good because if they're not fighting at full strength, it kind of makes it more like what it would be in Dragon Ball anyway. So, let me tell you before it happens, the second round, like after the second round, is going to really be what I call the weeding. Because, let me tell you a secret. Most of these characters are not going to survive the ones who are already in the second round. Some of them might, but we've got people like Gogeta. One of these guys is going to be fighting Gogeta. I think you can guess what's going to happen there. So, as you can see, I didn't really know who to pick, because for this fight to win, because I don't know who either of these people are. I would have picked 2B, I think, because he's later in the anime, he's later in the story, but it's too late now, definitely. So, looks like Dies is definitely winning. I think he's going to be the victor here. Now, I think it's probably going to be really hard to actually get someone defeated before the time runs out, except in the second round. Because in the first round, people just aren't that powerful, and by the third round, things will be a bit more equal. So, second, I think, is the only time it's going to happen. Now, I've seen someone do this before, but not on YouTube, but it was just on that site I showed you, not on YouTube. So, this almost went to that kind of defeat, but like an actual win, but it didn't because of time. So, I'll be right back. So, it turned out the reason why I wouldn't do that before was because of the fact that I hadn't started the tournament, technically. You have to be sure to start the tournament, or it just won't work. So, Dies won by 30 points, and this is probably one of the worst losses we're going to have but that's what I was talking about. He's going to be fighting Gogeta. And I tried to rank these characters by power, both in-game. I ranked them by power in-game first, and by power that I felt they had in the anime second. Sometimes I just wouldn't know who they were, so I'd rank them a bit randomly. One thing I did notice though is that if you do the same participants in the same kind of tournament, it will always give you the same matchups. I tried to do this once already and it didn't work. I mean, it worked, but I thought I could try for a new one, but it wouldn't let me. So basically, gonna have Krillin versus Videl. And now, normally you'd expect Krillin to win, but Vidal's pretty weak. So, I'm fairly sure that Krillin's pretty weak, I mean. I don't think he can use this. He can't use this stuff in this game like that. Also, he's one of the weakest key characters in this game, old Krillin is. Because he has to, at that point, I think you're competing with people like Boo and stuff. So Krillin is pretty weak. So, old Krillin, yeah, he's getting beat up pretty bad, actually. So I was betting on old Krillin to win to be honest, but I'm not so sure. So, yeah, Videl finally took some damage, which is about 30 seconds in the match, I'd say. So, yeah, this is pretty tough, and I'm intending to do 3 matches each time. It won't take nearly this long every time, though, since I don't have to explain the whole thing each episode. So, yeah. Like old Krillin is firing Kamehameha, but it doesn't work. Vidal's main weakness is that, again, she can only fight in melee. However, she can fly, meaning that this is, like, possible. Because if she couldn't fly, then it was going to be an obvious win. And it was kind of obvious already, but it would have seemed that way, but really, during the start of the battle, it was not obvious at all. Looks like Krillin's gonna win now, but a few melee attacks could change that again. Back to Vidal. And especially true because Krillin has horrible accuracy today. Maybe because he's old, although I find it kind of funny that he's old Krillin when he looks about half his age in GT. Because GT's also in this game, if you didn't know. So, looks like old Krillin has won. I'll be right back. Thing about this next fight is pretty obvious who's gonna win. Great Saiyan Woman is literally Vidal. I'm pretty sure the character's identical. While Kibito is more powerful than Krillin was, he's the acolyte of the Supreme Kai, if you didn't know, so... And he's not, like, extremely overpowered, but he's pretty powerful. But, again, it doesn't look like Saiyan Woman is winning. So... Saiyan Woman's starting to get hurt a bit. So, yeah, it looks like I was betting on Kibito to win. That was probably obvious. It's great Saiyan Woman is doing a lot better than I expected, but again, I think Kibito may turn the tide. These battles with even one melee, with a melee character who can fly, are always kind of fun. Are always kind of weird, I mean, just because of this. They don't really give the other character much opportunity to do stuff. And so Great Saiyan Woman might actually win this. If she does, I'll be surprised. The first time, I think it glitched and neither one was able to damage each other. I think it glitched because I was off window for most of the fight. They just kept doing the same thing over and over again. And so neither one took any damage and it was resolved through rock, paper, scissors. So, that's the only time I've ever seen a tie in this game, guys. Because if you have even like a pixel more damage, then you lose. So it looks like Great Saiyan Woman, if she can pull this out and not get hit, because he can fire a lot of Kamehamehas right now. If she can pull this out, then she can win this. And she seems to be smarter than a lot of NPCs. She doesn't get hit by one of those Kamehamehas, because again, she may fly into it, but no, she didn't. It looked like she was gonna for a second, but... No, she has won! The Great Saiyan Woman beat Kibito. So, yeah. However, the problem is that, again, so, the next round is going to be pretty bad for these people. So, you saw, Dice is going to be facing Gogeta GT, who may be the most powerful character in the series, depending on your interpretation of Beerus and Wiz. And I think he's the most powerful. And Old Krillin will be facing the Supreme Kai. So we'll have to see how that plays out. And Great Saiyan Woman is facing. Actually, I don't think someone that overpowered. Yeah. Still not sure if you saw that, but she's facing Android 14. So Android 14, not sure if he's really that much more powerful than Kibito. And so if she gets lucky, she could pull out a win and get to the 3rd round. I'd be surprised if she did, but hey, I was surprised at this win. So, this is awesome, and I'll see you all next time.